Hanoi is a city layered with history. Cultural landmarks lie quietly along busy streets or deep inside narrow alleys, each holding a story shaped by time. Preserving and sharing these cultural treasures has long been a challenge. Now, with support from the French Embassy, 4 digitized cultural itineraries have been introduced, bringing together some of the capital's most culturally and historically significant sites, opening them to a wider public.
Today, Nguyễn Văn Học and his son visited Hanoi's Old Quarter on a special journey, exploring the 4 guardian temples of Thăng Long Imperial City as part of the 4 digitized heritage itinerary featured in the Hanoi Heritage app.
Hanoi's 36 streets hide many heritage ties deep inside narrow alleys. Walking only the main street is difficult to imagine or fully understand them, even with books or reference. Thanks to these digitized itineraries, we can now identify where these hidden sites are and explore what lies inside, with images and historical materials that bring each place to life.
For Isabel, who has lived in Vietnam for nearly 10 years and studied Mother Goddess's culture, the digitized heritage itinerary has helped her discover new worship sites, while also providing detailed information and research materials about each location.
I think it's very useful because there's a lot of information and very scientific way presented. So you have all the information while also seeing the place right away. So it's kind of more an immersive experience.
The digitized heritage itineraries are part of a research cooperation project led by the French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs, bringing together leading Vietnamese and French research partners.
The 4 journeys were selected for the deep links to Vietnam's spiritual traditions, honoring Thăng Long's guardian deities, mother goddesses worship recognized by UNESCO, traditional craft founders, and temples associated with the monk An Thien, who founded a Buddhist meditation lineage. Each journey tells its own story, and together they offer a rich insight into Vietnam's cultural and spiritual heritage.
Each stop is presented as a complete digital profile, combining scholarly descriptions, historical and contemporary visuals, key documents, and architectural plans, all integrated into maps, QR codes, and the Hanoi Heritage app.
This project successfully combines heritage with technology, enhancing training, research, and policy development. Hanoi's values paired with innovation will lead to greater success ahead.
The Hanoi Heritage Itinerary offers a new way of seeing the capital, presenting the city as a living museum where heritage moves beyond books to come alive, tell stories, and engage with people.
As part of ongoing Franco-Vietnamese cultural cooperation, a new heritage itinerary project is bringing Hanoi's hidden monuments closer to the public through digital technology. To understand the origins of this initiative, its outcomes, and the long-term vision behind it, our reporter Đức Toàn spoke with Roman Buzitil, Deputy Head of the Cooperation and Cultural Section at the French Embassy in Vietnam.
Thank you very much for joining our interview today.
What was the initial idea that led France and Vietnam to jointly develop this heritage itinerary project for Hanoi?
Well, firstly, the project is the part of a long-standing cooperation between our 2 countries in this field of heritage. The joint statement issued following the visit of the Prime Minister, Mr. Pham Minh Chinh, to France in 2021, mentioned the fact that our countries have to deepen cooperation in the field of heritage. That's what we done actually as early as 2022 with a project funded by the French government with more than 16 billion dongs in capacity building, and also with the development of the heritage conservation trades. Second thing is the fact that Hanoi has 100 of old monuments that make its heritage and its cultural wealth. And most of them are in the end of alleys. And it is common also to suddenly find yourself in front of an old Buddhist shrine the Vietnamese authorities made heritage a priority of their politics, as evidenced by the election of Vietnam in the UNESCO World Heritage Committee.
What added value does Franco-Vietnamese cooperation bring to digitizing and standardizing sources such as Han Nom text, steles, maps, and archival images?
This is an important question. First, about the preservation, since precisely on the example of the stele, we are talking about stelae that have several hundred years of existence, which can suffer damages with the time, or even in vernacular language, a few experts can decipher now. Digitized works allow the widest possible dissemination and greatly facilitate, I think, research for interested publics, whether you're a student or researcher. And eventually, these digital resources can attract the interest of younger generations.
From this project, what long-term heritage cooperation do you foresee between Vietnam and France?
During the state visit of our president, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, a letter of intent has been signed between the actual Vice Prime Minister, Ms. Pham Thi Thanh Cha, and our Ministry of Culture, Ms. Rashida Dati, to foster the cooperation in the archives. Of course, the digital side will be a major focus with the mobilization of the French Overseas National Archives. The Mémorial de Caen is currently developing a cooperation with the Museum of the Victory of Dien Bien Phu to help them to develop their scenography, the conservation and the enhancement of the museum archives. So I'm convinced that this success will bring others in the coming years.
Once again, thank you very much for joining our interview today.
Thank you very much for inviting us.